This mug says morning martini on it. Should we do martinis right now? Like actual ones?
I changed my seat, bro, and I didn't. Yeah, that's what's up.
We've been working on new placements, new seating arrangements.
We're a little farther away now, so I got to do a who is it? The Collinsworth scooch.
The slide. Chris Collinsworth slide.
I gotta hit that bitch.
What is up, everybody?
The Mookie Shuffle, we're gonna patent.
The Mookie Shuffle. From wherever you're watching or listening, whether it is morning, afternoon, or you are laying in bed at night, we welcome you into the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and the homie Manny Ruffin. We do have a banger show for you today, but if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, a comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as our audio listeners. If you're at the gym listening to this, hopefully, Apple Podcasts or Spotify, drop those ratings. They do help us a long way, more than you guys will ever know. Now, we have a lot of drama to cover today. Most importantly, as a Knicks fan, we are recording, this is Tuesday, May 9th. Birthday's on Saturday, by the way, so better see that in the comments, hopefully. And the fucking, I guess the Knicks have no heart. And I feel like this is deja vu because we spoke last week about another New York playoff team that has no fucking heart. So again, we're going to do that. But we have a bunch of more drama. We got Bob Huggins saying some comments. Questionable comments. Yeah. The Phillies had a scary, scary moment in the Red Sox bullpen. That was Friday night. We'll get into that. Obviously, apparently some Iowa collegiate athletes are gambling on games.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what? How about hashtag one of us? Can we say that? Can we say that? Plenty of stuff on the NFL.
Let's not get caught next time.
Yeah, let's not get caught. Plenty of headlines in the NFL. Can't wait to get to that. Obviously, I'm going to highlight the New York one out of the Dexter Lawrence signing.
Big bag.
Big bag. And you know what? We'll get into that. But
and it's funny because I tipped them on this podcast.
Fact.
In playoffs.
Well, I think it's funny because that money that he got in that's like the bar for those defensive tackles now. Mm-hmm. You know, you're looking at we've seen $95 million at that position. Now we're seeing 90.
I agree. I don't strongly agree, but I agree. I fuck with Dexter.
I saw the picture of him next to Joe Shane, and he's not even up to like his nipple.
That's a big motherfucker.
I mean, that is a big dude.
That's a big motherfucker.
Plenty of stuff on the NHL as well. Obviously, the Leafs and the Panthers, and of course, we got to go back to the Rangers with Coach Gallant getting fired. He first of all, he did not part ways, and then we had the lottery last night. Chicago Blackhawks may.
I was cracking the fuck up.
What?
I don't know if it's real. We'll talk about it. I don't know. But just know I was cracking the fuck up. NHL Twitter's funny. NHL Twitter's pretty funny.
And then, of course, finally, we'll close it out with some NBA. We do have a banger today. Sixers and Celtics. Unbelievable series. James Harden. I'm going to play more of the character of the stuff that he did for the Michigan State student because that was really cool. And then, obviously, Julius Randle has no fucking heart. So.
Right.
All right, let's kick things off.
Speaking of Sixers, though. Joel Embiid.
Yeah, let's start there. Joel Embiid. Hey.
We'll get our bobblehead or some merch. We need some MVP merch.
We need
down
to get
here,
some MVP merch.
Shout out to Joel Embiid. Finally, we got it. We went through the walkouts together. We went through the Kawhi shot together. We went through a year not playing together. We went through Ben Simmons together. Brett Brown. We went through all that together. Now we got the MVP. One thing I do want to say, I do wish that they did the ceremony still. I didn't really think about it until it's like my guy, you know what I mean? But then you think about like the clips from the KD speech, him shouting out his mom, the Steph speech where he's talking about his dad and how it was a difficult road even though he had a dad that was an NBA. I think it would be cool to still have the button-up ceremony. I think there's something sacred about the MVP ceremony. But shout out to Joel Embiid.
But you know what? Maybe they'll still do that. I do think it would be pretty cool in itself as well.
Getting the award in front of your crowd in the playoffs is fire.
That's what I was going to say.
It is fire.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's a sold-out crowd, and you're the center of attention on the center of the floor. Your kid's there.
That was cool.
He said he was like crying and everything.
Yeah, no, he was.
So that was pretty cool. And you know, he breaks the Jokic, you know, the Jokic three-peat because everybody was saying, you know, just small talk on this bullshit, but everybody, like these analysts were all saying if Jokic wins his third in a row, that would mean...
Like, who is he?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Then we're going to have to put him on this type of pedestal.
Exactly.
But is he that guy to be put on that pedestal? But if you get 3 back-to-back-to-back MVPs, then you should deserve to be on that
Not a lot
pedestal,
of guys
right?
in there, yeah.
So like that's where like the questions were coming up. But yeah, just quick stuff on that. We'll get to the Sixers a little bit later. Let's start with our fellas down in Iowa. The University of Iowa from ESPN announced Monday that 26 athletes across 5 sports, which are baseball, football, men's basketball, men's track and field, and wrestling, and 1 full-time employee of the athletic department are suspected of wagering on sports in violation of the NCAA rules. Pretty crazy stuff.
So obviously the NCAA rules have to be like any sport. It can't, or any school, right? It's not just your school because you're gonna have information on schools in your conference. Right. That's like, we didn't talk about the NFL scandal that just happened with the 6 players. A couple of them out indefinitely now. A couple of them got suspended. Jameis Williams, Shaka Toney, all them.
Yeah,
bro, everyone's doing it. Like, it's got to be in every locker room, every single school. Like, there's no, I mean, motherfuckers are like us. I mean, I was not good enough to play D1, but if I was, I wouldn't have stopped gambling. I can't assume. I would have had someone putting money in for me somehow. You know what I mean? Guys probably do the same shit. And like, even guys who probably don't gamble, it probably, because some of those guys, I mean, again, there's gambling violations, so maybe it's giving out information. You never know. Could be placing bets, could be giving people information. You got a homie that's degenerates back home, and you go to Iowa State and you play Big 12 football and you play for lines that millions of people are betting. You bet your ass there's people probably texting you, yo, bro, how's it looking? Like, is he really hurt? Such and such stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, this shit is really shining a light of how much it is going on. I'm more interested to see, do they put the band hammer down harder? Or do they do it lighter? Because is it one of those things where it's kind of like a marijuana-esque kind of thing where it's like, all right, everyone's smoking pot now. Like, maybe we shouldn't suspend guys for the entire year for smoking weed. Like, everyone's gambling now. Maybe we shouldn't suspend guys. Or it's like, everyone's doing this. We need to get this the fuck out. Like, we need to Pete Rose everyone who's gambling. Like, I'm going to be real interested to see how they do that because it's a bad problem. I mean, in that article I read, there was something about, I think it was the Alabama coach, and there was something going on in their game where he was talking to a guy who was betting on the game, and he's the fucking coach. And I mean, I love betting on the College World Series, so like everything's fucking rigged, like everything's fucked.
Right to that point. This is an ESPN article as well. This announcement came days after Alabama fired baseball coach Brad Bohannon amid an investigation into suspicious betting activity on the Crimson Tide's game against LSU on April 28th. Listen to this, though.
Come the fuck on.
Sportsbook surveillance video indicated that the person who placed the bets was communicating with the head coach at the time.
Come the fuck on.
Multiple sources with direct information about the investigation told ESPN. So again, this goes back to my point that, you brought up at the beginning of it, though, which is, I mean, everybody's doing it now. And I think, like, I'm going to draw it from when, like, Calvin Ridley got suspended last year. And then we're seeing more and more guys across the NFL. Now we're seeing that got suspended. Guys on Seattle, guys on Washington, practice squad players. Everybody's doing it. And now we're getting college, players doing it. This is, again, Iowa said, this was the quote, has received information about 111 individuals. And that's the end quote there. That's a lot of fucking guys.
There's a lot of people they got info on. I think that's just info. Plenty of people that don't snitch. Some people don't open their mouths. Some people don't get caught.
Am I dumb for saying this? Like, how are they getting that information? And who's willing to give up that information?
You only need to get one rat to get a family, bro. It only takes one.
And then
rat.
what? So then what? Those guys don't get suspended as long? Like what?
I don't know. They always work their deals. We won't tell them we told them. You know what I mean? All that kind of bullshit.
Right. We're going to see as time goes on because, we haven't really seen it that much in hockey. Haven't really seen it much in baseball.
Did they say how long the suspensions were? Or did it not come out yet?
I don't believe so.
I'm real interested to see what that is.
Leadership was notified May 2nd of potential criminal conduct related to sports wagering.
So they don't have that shit.
Yeah, look at that. Law enforcement last Wednesday provided the university with a list of individuals alleged to have participated in sports wagering. So people are fucking.
You gotta even think. I'm probably on some federal shit right now, but people have said it on Twitter, so this can't be too federal. You've seen it too, where people be like, and NCAA stuff, I got information from X school on this. I've seen plenty of cappers say that about a pick. Now, could they be lying? They like boost their pick, get credibility, who knows? But right. I won't be surprised if there's just regular sharps all over across these books, across the nation that have Instagram's a real thing, Twitter's a real thing.
quick Instagram DM. Yo, I've been betting X amount on you guys. Like, what's going on? Like, I could show you this if you just give me some info.
Right. Well, I mean,
Sure, there's
the
plenty of that
Iowa
going on.
Gaming Commission's involved in this shit now. And then obviously they're saying as well, like, this is basically, it's like indefinitely right now, but that they're not playing, obviously, in their respective sports, but it's still under an investigation. So curious to kind of see what happens with that as we move forward, especially not only with this story as well, but just athletes professionally and collegiately gambling on sports. Let's move over to West Virginia coach Bob Huggins using a homophobic slur referring to Xavier fans in a radio interview. This was also kind of nuts because I think he just...
Okay, it was that F word. I thought he said fuck.
So did I.
Okay.
So did I.
Hey, okay. Gotcha.
So in the article, this is
Gotcha.
CBSSports.com. If you're able
Please
to read
be
this
nice
article.
to his YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. We're not going to say the word. All right. So don't take the video down.
Okay.
But he said those Catholic
Yeah.
F word. Okay. So that's
On the radio.
on the radio. And you know what I didn't like about it was it says here, because they're quoting it, right? And then I didn't like about it is at the end of it, it says the segment ended with some awkward dead air and some laughter before the host quipped that Huggins was, quote, the best, end quote.
Yeah.
So he says those Catholic you-know-whats,
Yes.
and then the host of the radio show
Yes.
laugh and say you're the best.
Precisely, yes. And
So why are we not drawing attention onto those fucks for saying
yes.
that?
And when I read that, I was like, damn. People really sleep on that Xavier Cincinnati rivalry. He don't even coach there no more.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember when we were like 9-10 years old, they had that big brawl.
Yeah.
Puncher
yeah.
Stone, guys are buddy. That's Xavier Cincinnati. I'm like, damn, this fucking rivalry transcends generations, transcends job firings. Doesn't even matter. Holy shit.
He said,
And he knows some shit about that. He knows some shit about them fuckers too, though. But that's crazy. Though.
Dude, so he says,
But I mean, at the same time, radio hosts, most of these guys, like, you get a Bob Huggins on, they've been idolizing Bob Huggins for years. He said some shit like that. They don't know what the fuck to do. They're looking at you like, what the fuck did he just say? Like, we can't edit that out. We're live on radio.
dude.
Live on radio. Could that affect what he has going on now? Like,
I don't know what, I mean, I know he,
and keep it a bean. You guys are subject to feel however you feel about me. If he was my coach, he coaches tweaking, but I hope he don't get fired for real.
I mean,
honestly, that's probably what I'm thinking.
right, but
Depending on what my relationship is with that coach. But if I'm a player and I'm like, yo, like Coach Huggins is a nut, I don't fuck with Coach Huggins.
first of all,
If he says that shit, that's the first thing that takes all 12 of your players to turn on you. So I don't know what his situation is at West Virginia, but I'm saying like with the AD, with his players, if they're like a Bob Huggins, we love that guy kind of guy, they could be like, all right, it was bullshit. But if they don't really like him, if there's some rumblings going over there, like, all right, get this guy the fuck out of here.
first of all, he's getting fired, okay? Like, he's
Gotta
getting
be.
fired. Let's remember Cincinnati,
can't.
remember Cincinnati Reds announcer and Fox NFL Sunday, Tom Brenneman, when he said the F word capital of the world, and he got fired because of that. He was on a radio MLB broadcast. It was just 2 or 3 years ago.
Yo.
And he came on the hot mic. So it comes back from commercial, and he says, like, talking to his color guy, like his color commentator, and he says, because they were talking about San Francisco, and he says, F word capital of the word.
No. Bob Huggins is getting fired.
So if
what I
he's
was saying
saying
was
it
more so
twice-
from no. I wasn't saying he's not getting fired. What I was saying is from a player's perspective, do you want him to get fired or do you not want him to get fired? That's what I'm saying.
That's a good
Like if
question,
you're watching your player, your AD, like you're sitting there like, damn, we fuck with Coach Huggins. We was just in the tournament.
Facts.
Like we don't want to get fired. Or it's like, damn, Coach Huggins be having us run 10 sprints at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like
we're
he did
done,
say that
bro.
wild shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, fuck boy. Like he like live on radio.
West Virginia saying the
Like,
situation
live on
is
radio is mind blowing.
under review and will be addressed by the university and its athletics department. I mean, there's not much to say. Obviously, like he said that
Live on radio.
Huggins' remarks today on Cincinnati radio show were insensitive, offensive, and do not represent our university values. Apparently, he's since apologized. The university said in a statement that obviously they don't condone that use of such language, and they take those actions very seriously. I think it's worse because he not only used it in that derogatory way, but he was aiming that at Catholic Xavier students.
Oh yeah.
Like he said, those Catholic, you know what I mean? Like that's the, I think
Alumni, the whole nine.
that's terrible.
Live on radio.
Live on radio. See, like here's my thing
You
with like,
can't edit that. Like
with all this, like,
where's your awareness, homie?
That's what I'm saying. Where's your head, bro? What are
Holy
you doing?
shit.
What are you doing? Like some of the things that,
So I'm saying that rivalry run deep, bro. He probably said, "Fuck the
look, and like again, everyone's
That
gonna say
rivalry
like, yep,
real.
you know, he's that means he's used to saying this word, right? He's used to saying this word because he says, okay, bro, like whatever,
Right,
whatever, fine.
Right. Sure. Whatever. Yeah.
Don't be more focused on that. Be more focused on like, hey, if you use that word, then don't publicly go on and say it.
Live on
Okay?
radio.
I'm not condoning that you should be
Live
using that
on
word.
radio.
But if you're older and like that's what you grew up with, it's time. First of all,
It's live.
It's live.
Like-
And like, hey, it's time to make a change, first of all. But second of all, how are we sitting there like live saying this stuff? And then again, I said it already, but I
That's
need to, before we
insane
move on, I
awareness.
need to say
That's
this
insane
again.
awareness. That's insane
Why are the
awareness.
fucking, at least from this quote, but why are the fucking hosts of that show not getting ripped apart too? Saying some laughter before the host quipped that Huggins was, quote, the best. So he says that and we're like, yo, you're so funny, man. You're the best. What? Why? Get them fired too then. What? If you're going to fire him, then fire them. If everyone wants to do dumb shit to get canceled, then, but make it equal. Just saying. All right, over to Deion Sanders in Colorado. The athletic director at Colorado backs Deion. This is from thescore.com. Amid his roster shuffling, saying his quote was, this is his way to do it. Obviously, we talked about in weeks prior to when Deion was hired. He said, I'm bringing my Louis Vuitton baggage, so you better get in the portal. And what the fuck happened? You got your wish. You got your wish.
Do you see that kid on Twitter that was like complaining about like that shit that he transferred and like he wasn't gonna get a fair shot? He told y'all what it was. He told y'all what it was hitting for way before he even got there. He sat y'all all down in the auditorium and it went viral. I have no problem with what Deion's doing. I hope it works.
Yeah.
I really hope it works. But I have no problem. Like I see kids, people were like, the one kid that went viral on Twitter complaining about it, people were like kind of having his back and some people weren't. This college football at the D1 level is more of a business than you will ever understand. Like we start peeping it now, the money that's at stake and shit like that. NIL's helping people understand and shit like that, bro. But Deion's a great guy. I think he's a great coach. But when I say this, don't take it the wrong way. He don't care about you. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's what people had to tell. Like other, like there's probably play college athletes that have got told that statement. Like at the end of the day, this recruiting process and all this, they care about, but they don't really care about you. Like where you end up, they'll be curious and they'll hope you end up okay. But nothing is more important than their status quo. That's just life. That's how it goes. But most people don't really realize that till they go through the college recruiting process at that high D1 level. It's like, oh. Fuck. Like he did tell me he's bringing in Louis bags and I ain't Louis. I gotta get the fuck out of here with my JanSport bag. I don't got no problem with what he's doing. I just hope it works because if it doesn't work, you know it's gonna get loud.
Yeah, of course. I mean, looking at this article here, a total of 57 Colorado players have entered the portal since the Buffaloes hired Sanders in December. Easily the most in the NCAA. Obviously, that makes sense, right? We knew that 57 was going to be the most in there. Didn't really think it was going to be that many.
Wonder how many of these Colorado kids are gonna go to other schools and just ball on their fuck Deion shit and really ball out. I'll be interested to watch those stories too.
I mean, there's also some players that were
Capable, very
decommitting.
Oh, for sure.
Is that the word? Decommitting?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like guys that were ready to go, said yes, and then.
And you heard about especially with your boy Sam and stuff. Families probably started moving and shit. Like, it's tough. It's really a business, bro. Like when I said they don't care about you, that's the shit I meant. They don't really. They hope you go to a school and end up okay, but they don't care about that house y'all bought or people trying to move or these plans you guys made. It is what it is.
Well, you remember the video when he's addressing the team for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel if that coach comes in again? I know that this is the way that he does it, but how would you feel if this coach is standing in front of you saying like, some of you guys fucking suck, and I'm going to bring guys that are better than you, so get out of here. That's the first, impression that I'm going to get from my coach is I fucking suck and I got to go.
The kids in that room that are going to make it either on the field or make it in life are going to just hear that, laugh, and go ball. Life or the field, they're just going to hear that and go ball. Kids that aren't going to make it are just going to complain. Like, oh, Dion said, oh, I fucking suck. Whatever, bro. Your film's your film. If your film's good and you don't suck, you're going to get picked up by another high major. You're going to be playing in a big-time conference. You might still be playing in the Pac-12, and you could get a rematch versus Dion. You know what I mean? The winners are going to take that shit and run with it regardless. I think it's all – at the end of the day, I think it's good for Colorado. I think it's good for the kids in that situation too. Big life lesson. If I was 18, I don't know how I would take it, but I hope those kids take it well.
Right. I mean, we'll see how that works out with Dion because, again, he's got a lot of pressure now.
100%.
Right? Because –
100%.
If this backfires,
been under a lot of pressure. Been under a lot of pressure.
For real. Again, haven't had a winning season since 2016 as well. So obviously pressure to win, but in this case, pressure because you kicked some guys out intentionally. Let's move over to the Phillies. Tough stuff here. I guess really just sad stuff in Philly to see at a game. It had nothing to do with the players. A fan was stretchered off after falling into the bullpen during the Red Sox-Phillies game Friday night. I was actually watching the fucking game, and, you can tell you're just watching the regular game. It's not like they had cameras on it where you saw it live. I was watching it live, but all of a sudden, I think it might have been Alvarado that ran out to Castellanos, and then they move the camera, and you see Alvarado running, and his face is just, completely shook. And he's running Castellanos, and he's pointing, and he's yelling at people to come and help out. And then as time progresses, it happened in the Red Sox bullpen. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at these relief pitchers, and their faces, they're crying, they're just in complete disbelief and shock that something like this happened. Now I think, again, this may be me being ignorant, but everybody knows how Philly fans are. I think that this guy was just heckling as hard as he could, and he's leaning over the railing, pointing, and maybe the railing was up to his, sternum, I guess, and he just leaned over and he just toppled over and fell over down and fell all the way down on the concrete. And I mean, they showed his face when he was getting stretchered off. His whole, I think that was his left side of his face was puffy. I mean, he had a black eye. I mean, they were huddled around this guy for 10 minutes, and we were, I was talking about it with with my brother when I was watching it. And I'm like, dude, is he dead? Did he snap his neck? How does this happen? So, if you're the Phillies in this case, I guess we're raising the fucking bullpen fences. So this doesn't happen again.
Nah, that I mean, if you sat in the outfield out there, that shit is kind of low.
Yeah.
It is kind of low. That's because I was gonna say, because you were saying what he was doing. He could have low key been doing anything. He could have been, because I catch myself when I'm in that position, when I was in those seats and I'm at the front, I turn around a lot and I'll fuck around with people and I'll laugh and joke around and shit. And even though I don't know, bro, they do have to raise those fences, but damn, just be careful out here.
Wait,
bro.
I got it. I know what it was.
Just be careful. What happened?
Fan fell over the fence, separating the concourse and lowered the lowered bullpen area while attempting to retrieve a ball that a player had thrown. Wow. So again, it was the leaning over aspect. But again, I still think that's,
and that's probably why the Red Sox players were so in shock and crying and shit, because someone's probably like, dude, I just tried to toss him a ball. I gave him a bad toss.
And he
tried to get that shit. Yeah, that would kill me,
bro. They were crying. They were crying,
bro.
I mean, it was delayed for 10 minutes.
Could you imagine that? You throw that shit, you just see oh no, don't go get it. You see him fucking lean over,
And then Tom McCarthy on the broadcast was talking about just how silent the stadium was. Because if you're sitting, on the third base line, or you're sitting in the upper second deck, in left field, you can't really see from that far. They're all the way in right field.
Right.
You can't really see. So then you're like, why is the game stopped? Why is it so quiet? What the fuck's going on? They're obviously not going to show it on the big board.
Right.
Maybe they make an announcement. I don't know. So just a very weird start to the game. Again,
I'd like to know from people who were in the stadium, how far away could you have been and knew what would happen? Because I assume he was screaming.
Yeah.
I assume anyone in the outfield knew what happened.
The bullpens had to be screaming.
I feel like anyone in the outfield knew what happened, and deep, when you're on you're on the foul line.
Yeah.
Probably anyone from the foul line to third base probably like knew what happened. Obviously, there's people in the Diamond Club and shit that probably saw what happened, which was fucking probably horrific. Like you're just looking out at the pitch and you just see like literally in front of your face.
But it's also like take note that
is a fucked up. That's a fucked up experience.
Zach Wheeler had thrown 3 pitches in the game. That's it.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
Yeah.
That's it. The game had just started.
I'm about to say no one knew then.
No one.
People were walking. People were probably still drinking outside.
Like walking to their seats.
Yeah, people are still drinking outside.
Fuck, they're at the bar.
Guys like me, I'm throwing my Fireball bottle away in the trash can at the front.
You're at the bar getting a drink, and all of a sudden you hear the silence, and then what? You're like turning around, like I gotta pay my shit here. Here's my card, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? What's happening? I don't know what's going on. So I mean, that was just unreal. The fact that again, that was the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
But there was a huge delay. I mean, Zach Wheeler like was still warming up, and then he went back to the dugout. He sat in the fucking dugout. Fucking Castellanos is sitting on his ass doing stretches in right field. What the fuck else is he supposed to do? Because they got the EMTs out there.
I like that he's locked in.
He was locked in.
Keeping his body
He was
loose.
sitting like this. He had his hands like this, and he stretched out. He's just hanging. I'm like, yo, you do you, man. You do you. Yeah, that was unreal. Scary moment there for Philly. As we're on the Philadelphia topic here, can you tell me what, like, were we wrong about Mookie Betts and girls not knowing?
Yeah. Flashback. I think I said maybe 2 girls would know Mookie Betts in a random Dunkin' Donuts down Philadelphia, and I was taken by surprise. I was in the bar, met a little honey, and I asked her where she was from. She said Massachusetts. I said okay.
But what would she say though?
She said Mass.
Like who says that?
I don't know. Maybe
any Boston people can explain
maybe
that.
Maybe that's what they do up there. So I didn't really put 2 and 2 together that Boston would be there. I was just drunk, like, oh Mass, cute girl. I don't really care.
You're just talking.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, well, where are you from? I'm like, oh, right outside of Philly. Da, da, da. First thing she says is 2-1 Boston, baby. Da, da, da. Next thing she says, and Zach Wheeler got rocked today. I was like, what the fuck?
Did Manny find the one?
Literally instant. They didn't even instantly think that. I swear to you, I instantly was like, I was so wrong. Like, I was probably so wrong. Holy shit.
Well, you said you normally don't like talk sports with girls at all.
Ever. Unless they bring it up. More girls, you'd be surprised. Like, I think I was actually wrong because when I actually think about like chicks I talk to, more girls kind of bring up sports. I think they might assume guys are into it and it's been more of like a middle ground these days, but you'd be surprised, bro. I actually think I was wrong. I was talking to you before we started. I'm like, I'm up at that number from 2, probably like 6.
Because we said 2 out of 10.
Because you got to think Mookie Betts too. Like, I don't know, the way she was rattling off Sixers players, like Zach Wheeler had his amount of earned runs. I was like, oh, okay.
What it was,
I was wrong. Like,
this was
my bad.
Couple episodes ago, Manny had said how many girls in Philly are, because we were talking about Shohei Ohtani, and then like everybody knows him, all over, like he's the face, right?
Well, we wanted him to play in a bigger market, so everyone would know him basically.
And the quote was like, Manny had said to me, what are the chances of a random girl, Temple girl in Philly in a Dunkin' Donuts if Mookie Betts walks in? How many people know that? Out of 10 people, he said 2. So now in this case, we got Boston girls that are just locked in. They know what the fuck's going on.
I had to go to 7.
So we might have to raise that. Maybe we were fucking wrong.
What do y'all think?
Yeah. How many girls in Temple, or is this Temple University
or
in Philly?
X place.
Or X place. Whatever. Who Mookie Betts is if they walk into, if he walks into, no uniform. If they know who Mookie Betts is if he walks into a random Dunkin' Donuts for his coffee at 8 in the morning. It's a good question.
I think, it's funny. I'm getting off topic, but like I think of like Mookie Betts' build too. Like I think maybe like a Mike Trout. I think Mike Trout might be like a 10 for 10.
Well, because again,
he's fucking
jacked. But again, he's a Philly guy.
Neck, not even Philly guy. Neck, like 18-inch neck. Like I feel like if I didn't even watch baseball, I feel like Mike Trout could walk in somewhere. I'd be like, who the fuck is this?
Well, I
even
mean,
when you see him at the Eagles games, you see him sitting there. He's taking up almost like a seat and a half.
Yeah.
His big ass neck. Mike Trout, but like Mookie Betts, I feel like I don't know his measurables, but I feel like he's probably like 6 something, like 180s, 190s, like regular build. I feel like it'd be harder, but I was wrong. I actually am ready to say I was wrong. I got y'all. Yeah, I got 6 of y'all. Guaranteed. Guaranteed I got 6. Guaranteed I got 6 of y'all. Guaranteed.
And you said you checked out the tell these guys about fucking the Barstool that you saw.
Yeah, it was a cool little spot.
Where is it in Philly?
Right on Sampson Street. Never went in there. Me and my boy never went in there because it's always a long ass wait. Had some special accommodations. Can't tell y'all how we did that.
Yeah, facts, because we're going to ruin the secret.
So we went in there and checked it out. It's a cool little spot. Gilly be promoting that shit. I like it. I like it. Do I like waiting 30 minutes outside the bar to go anywhere?
No.
Nah, like anywhere.
Is there a cover? No.
Nah. Nah.
You said there's a wristband section. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I fuck with
Do they
that.
have, don't I heard they have the kiosks in there so you can actually bet in there? Is that true or no? Did you see any in there? You probably too shit for that.
Nah.
That would be sick though.
I don't think.
Maybe we just said that.
I don't think you can bet in there.
That would be sick. Why the fuck wouldn't they do that?
That'd be
Are they
bad.
allowed to do that? I don't know.
That'd be bad.
Why don't you just put the? I mean, hey, put the Barstool kiosk in there. I've never been in there. I'm just.
I don't
around.
think you can do that. No, I don't think you can do that.
All right, over to the NFL here. Some quick stuff on, where is it? Here we go. Panthers GM. No timeline
Oh my god.
on Bryce Young starting. Carolina Panthers general manager Scott Fitterer doesn't have a set date for when number 1 overall pick Bryce Young will take the starting quarterback job. Again, this is from thescore.com. We're going to rely on our coaches, Jim Caldwell, Frank Reich, Thomas Brown, to decide when it's right. Again, that's another quote from Panthers GM as well. I don't know why you don't feel okay with saying a number 1 pick is going to start.
This guy would just pick number 1, no? Like number 1 overall.
It's not like he was fucking Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, okay? This was
Even
number
Jalen
1.
Hurts.
Like, again,
I don't know. I hate it.
first of all,
I hate
who the
this shit.
fuck does he have to beat?
Andy
Okay?
Dalton. I think it's Andy Dalton. In the article, they said, I think you can scroll down the article. I'm pretty sure they said, you can quote me on this. I'm pretty sure they said that Andy Dalton is a starter right now.
Here it is. Fitterer added that veteran, thank you. Fitterer added that veteran Andy Dalton, who was signed as a free agent, is the current starter. Listen to this. Here's the quote, fellas. If Andy's the guy to start the season and he's the starter right now heading into the season, then he'll be the guy. He explained, this is again, Scott Fitterer, the Panthers GM, when Bryce is ready, or Matt Corral, what is it, Corral? What was I saying?
Yeah.
Matt Corral is ready, whoever it may be,
My guy, but
that'll be the time they go in. We say it's open competition, but Frank did say, hey, Andy, he's our guy right now. He'll walk into the season as a starter, and then, as you know, the young guys compete underneath them. Then they'll go in when they're ready. So, okay. Let's think about the draft, though. How many times are we hearing a Todd McShay, a Mel Kiper, whose name's I forget who's, but a guy like Todd and Mel saying all this about Bryce Young. Well, he is NFL caliber. He's NFL ready. And you talk about with the quarterbacks, they're doing tiers for the quarterbacks, and they're saying who can start right away and who can't start right away. Well, Bryce Young was in that caliber and on that list of who can start right away. So why is this even a fucking debate, first of all? And we're talking about Corral and Andy Dalton when we just drafted number 1 pick? Well, I mean, I must be missing something. I'm not a GM of a team, but I think that's a little disrespectful. You drafted the guy number 1, and then you're like, hey, you know what? Even though you were number 1, you're not ready. I'm not saying you have to tell him, like, you know, you're going to be this guy, but you at least should tell him that, yeah, it's your job. He should be saying it's your job in training camp to lose. Like, you're the starter, but you can lose it in training camp if you suck. But right now, you're the starter. That's what I think you should have said.
Yeah, I hope it's just like, I just hope it's some psychological games they get to get the guy motivated to come into camp, not have a big head. But we talked about this with Malik Willis, and we'll talk about this guy later in the show, but we saw it with Justin Fields with the same backup quarterback with Andy Dalton. I won't foreshadow too much of the headline, but things going on in camp now with for almost a year and some change with Justin Fields just being the guy himself. We hear things are going pretty well for him down there. I'm pretty sure it's because there's a monkey off his back. There's not a guy breathing down his neck, although he's probably a good vet, but he's a serviceable one and he can play. It's a difference in feeling as a quarterback when you know you have the investment of your team. You play looser. You're not afraid to make mistakes, et cetera, et cetera. I don't really think they should be like, this is your job, Bryce Young, but I also don't think they should be like, this is not your job. That's kind of, they did say it was an open competition. Yeah. I just, there's something weird about that. I feel like when teams do that, make that move, that kind of verbiage, I just think there's always some weird shit that comes of it. I don't know why. I just feel like those guys always get off to a slow start when it's like you're coming in here and you're already fighting a couple more battles before you even get started. maybe it's me getting softer. They should compete. I really think they should compete. But I think they should. I think as a young guy coming in, you should know you have the backing of your guys to know, like, listen, this is kind of my job to lose. They didn't say it, but it's pretty much what it is. And I can lose it to Andy Dalton. I definitely can. But I'm definitely, I don't know. Hopefully for some guys, I guess for some guys it can work and some guys it can't. But some of these guys, putting them in a deficit off the rip really hasn't worked for them.
I don't know why they would say,
especially your number one pick. I feel like you should almost advertise investment rather than.
I don't know why it's Andy's and not fucking Matt's. To be honest with you,
don't do that.
It's Andy fucking Dalton.
Andy's all right. Andy's
come
all right.
on.
Serviceable. He's still serviceable.
It worked a little bit because he got some games in New Orleans last year. I think that's the only reason.
He's still serviceable.
And let's say he was a backup all year and didn't play. Then it's a different story. I'm still saying. I mean, come on. First of all,
and when he was with the year before that, the first couple games when he was with Chicago, he was okay.
That's right. That's true. And then he got bitched by Justin Fields, which we will get into in a moment. Again, from the score, let's talk a little bit about Anthony Richardson. Jonathan Taylor saying that the Colts, quote, offense will get real scary with Anthony Richardson at quarterback.
Disrespectful shit.
He did also say that Richardson reminds me of Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
Looking at the size component, you'd throw Cam Newton in there as well.
Wow.
He's a physical threat.
Wow, that's a lot of guys.
That's Jonathan
Taylor.
Taylor.
It's a lot of good football players in the mix into one guy.
Thank you, score.com, for that information there. The Jonathan Taylor, Colts running back. Again, a little biased, but he's allowed to be. He's allowed to be excited as well. He's allowed to be excited as well. He got his quarterback. We don't have, Matt Ryan, fucking Nick Foles.
That's true.
For Christ's sake, we got our guy.
That is true.
And he says Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, and then the size component is Cam Newton.
Shit, this guy might be the GOAT.
He's doing cartwheels and flips and backflips at the combine. He's a freak athlete. Maybe didn't wear sleeveless. Didn't wear sleeveless like Will Levis. Come on, give me a fucking break. I mean, that shit still pisses me off. How the hell are we gonna yell at Will Levis?
He just might be the GOAT.
I don't get it. How are we gonna yell at Will Levis for wearing a tank top when fucking Anthony Richardson is doing flips? That doesn't concern people. What if he got hurt there? Huh? The fuck? I'm letting Richardson know that I'm here and I have his back no matter what the case may be. Again, Jonathan Taylor's quote there.
But see, I like this.
Look at this right here.
Investments, gas, all that. Bryce could use some of that, I think. Anthony's probably feeling hella good right now walking into that facility.
You know what? Maybe Andy Dalton could do some of that shit,
behind closed doors type
for Bryce.
Shit.
Okay?
Yeah,
better.
My fault, Andy.
Jonathan Taylor again saying that whether that means this is in parentheses here, run pass options in pass protection, or if he needs somebody as an outlet in the passing game, could just mean me being efficient in the run game for him. So look like we got a little tandem showing up here as well.
I think they can be dangerous. I think they can. The potential is there, but I just maybe he is the GOAT. I don't know. That's some high praise, good guys from Jonathan Taylor.
And they got a new head coach as well, and you know a lot about that new head coach.
Honestly, there's probably no better coach coming from a situation like the Eagles to deal with Anthony Richardson x Jonathan Taylor. So
Philly had a pretty lights out offense last year with Jalen Hurts, and again, if we're getting the Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator and Jonathan Taylor is throwing Jalen Hurts comparisons to Anthony Richardson, then maybe there's something to say here.
Might just be the GOAT.
Maybe something is foreshadowing that Anthony Richardson is about to have a good year. I heard fucking...
Rooting for you, AR, for sure.
I heard last night, I saw Eamon last night, fucking talking about the Dynasty League.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're still doing that, right? Because we put a lot of work in it.
Hell yeah.
He's like, I don't know if people are like back. I'm like, well, you better talk to him because we drafted Odell Beckham. So we sat on Odell Beckham all year, and now we have this. So now it raises the question: we got to find a way to get Anthony Richardson.
Facts.
We got to find a way.
Facts.
Who did we draft last year? Was Derek Carr? Who was what?
We flopped on quarterbacks last year. We didn't flop. Tua was a good pick, but Tua got hurt.
Malik Willis also kind of folded for us.
The Derek Carr, horrible. Anthony Richardson, I hope not the league not listening, but
yeah, I think that's the guy. I don't know how many picks you get, but then he's like, he was like, I want to start another one. I'm like, fuck the other one, bro. I want to still do this.
We should start another one. We should do another one, but raise the buy-in so motherfuckers actually stay in it.
Stay locked in.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Because Dynasty's cool. I kind of like
Dynasty's sick, bro.
Yeah, I like it.
We should start our own one.
The all day, every day
with everybody like here, just put it out, first like, do maybe, I don't know, 15 guys, whatever, 12 guys, whatever.
Yeah, we should probably.
Well, how much was that one? That one was 10 guys. That one was 10 guys.
12-man dynasty league.
12-man dynasty, like first come to join, and then we can live stream it or whatever, live stream the draft or some sick shit like that. I don't know. It'd be fun. All right, moving on. Keeping it with the NFL here. Again, from thescore.com, Bears offensive coordinator Fields. His quote here, Justin Fields, his quarterback is, quote, light years ahead of where he was last season. Very interesting.
I think, back to our Brock Purdy and Justin Fields debate. I think that stock I was saying, I think he's about Bitcoin 2015. Said he was light years ahead of he was the year before. Bitcoin kind of 2014, 2015 pumpage going on here. And also, back to the point of Bryce Young, just investment. Like a year of investment. I mean, what it could do to a guy. Even with Jalen Hurts, his first year being the guy wasn't the greatest, but he had some great games. And the next year, was he light years ahead? Is there anything more than light years ahead? Because he was that. So I'm happy for Justin Fields. I hope it pans out for him because I really do think he's that guy. I really do. I think he'll pan out down there. I really do.
Can we just shine light on when the Bears had the number 1 pick? All of what the media was saying, including inner personnel inside these NFL teams, saying that the Bears may draft a quarterback and they may just kind of push Fields to the side. And now we're talking about this. Finally, they did the right thing. They traded down. They got all those thoughts at everybody's head that Justin Fields was going to be a pushover. And now we're saying this. So I think this is a good sign. Good sign for Justin Fields. And this goes back to our debate that we had last week. What the hell was the question again?
Who would you rather have in the NFC as your quarterback for the next 5 years, Brock or Justin Fields?
Right. So,
still very to be determined.
Still very to be determined, but athletically, I did say athletically. Again, I'll say it again. Athletically, I said Justin Fields, but as, fitting into a role, fitting into a system, being more of a leader, I had to say Brock.
I mean, hey, I read my first power ranking the other day. They had the 49ers second, and if it's Brock's team and then they're second best team in the NFL, he might just be better than Justin Fields.
Sorry.
We'll see, though. TBD.
All right, moving to more NFL stuff here. The New York Giants, they lock up their guy, Clemson. Sexy Dexy.
Whoa,
Dexter,
whoa.
That's what they call him, bro.
That's not what they call him.
Yes, they do.
All right, we're going to call you Famous Dex on this show. We're going to call you Famous Dex.
Come on, bro. That's what they say. That's what they say. Nobody come to me for that.
Sexy Dexy is
bro, because he does his dance. What the hell's the dance he does like this? I can't do it.
Okay, big fella. Oh, okay.
That's what he does. He does something like this.
That's what's up, bro.
He can move for a big dude.
That's probably why y'all not winning games. Y'all calling y'all big man Sexy Dexy.
That's what they call him. Okay. Dexter Lawrence signing a 4-year, $90 million extension. $60 million of that is fully guaranteed.
I like that.
I like how the bar is getting raised for professional fucking defensive tackles.
Big man got paid. Clap up. That deserves a clap up.
Yeah.
Big man got paid. Clap up.
Okay.
Clap
I think
up.
that's the big thing to note.
Not
Not only that I'm biased for Giants because I'm a Giants fan, I think this is just good to see that this position is starting to get rewarded at a higher rate.
Facts.
100%.
Facts.
I mean, obviously that.
Appreciate your big fellas, man.
Damn straight, bro. They're the ones in the trenches. And this is also, after the Daniel Jones signing. So there's a lot of money going around in New York with that $160 million deal for Daniel Jones.
All right, Dable.
I mean, Dable got his guy.
What are you going to do now?
What are they going to do? Most importantly, what kind of money is Saquon Barkley looking at?
Also in that power ranking I was speaking of, Cowboys were ranked 7th. Giants were ranked 11th. My hot take is we can just flip those two right now.
Say it again.
First power rankings I read, Cowboys were 7th. Giants were 11th. I think, hot take, we can just go ahead and flip those right now.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you.
I think
100% with you.
I think I like what the last couple years, ever since we started the podcast for y'all, I've been a fan of what the Giants had going on. Don't like y'all for shit.
Right.
Do like what y'all.
I do think having Dable and GM Joe Shane, who were together in Buffalo, those are just two like-minded guys that are really turning this team around. I mean, I didn't think that in this short of a time that they were really going to have a full clasp and clamp on everything going moving forward. This deal also makes Dexter Lawrence the 3rd highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL behind Aaron Donald and Jeffrey Simmons. So again, we're going to see more guys that are going to sign for big money like this, and we're setting the tone for this position. We saw Jalen Carter's rookie deal. I mean, he's getting, I think that was what? He's getting $15 a year or something?
And he will get paid.
That's crazy.
And he will get paid one day.
And then speaking of this, I do want to make this quick note before we move on. Will Levis, I saw it was reported. I forget where I saw this. This was sources saying that him falling in to the second round lost him upwards of $20 million.
We can make that back.
That is so fun.
It's a good thing about money.
That is so
That's
fun.
a good thing about money, and that's a good thing about being an athlete, is that is all in your control. We can make that back. Well, don't worry about it. They worry about your girl. They worry about your pockets. They even worry about your throwing mechanics. They worry about your muscles. We can make that all back. Perception, we can make it all back. Well, don't worry about it, Will. I still fuck with you the long way. I think you're going to be all right. We still root for you over here. What that little walk was zesty, though. But besides that, my guy, we rooting for you. You can make it all back. Fuck it.
All right. Yeah, I know. Because really what it is like, now that kind of lights fire under your ass. I got to play because I got to earn a big contract now.
Yeah.
Once I get out of this rookie deal, I need to be signing a Daniel Jones-esque type of contract.
We might be here from 10 years from now. That might be the best thing that ever happened to him.
Hopefully.
That fiasco.
Hopefully. I mean, you can't not root for him at this point after hearing that stat. Okay. And also, he's got a tough QB room to fight with.
Very true.
In Tennessee. Malik, Ryan Tannehill, he's listed as number 3 right now, behind Tannehill at 1 and Malik at 2. So a lot of work to be done. Hopefully a lot of money to be made as well. Let's head over to the NHL. Rangers, after a fucking disappointment, they part ways with Coach Gerard Gallant. And I was not really happy about it. I really thought he had going back to this whole clasp clamp type bullshit, really thought that he had it with this team. Obviously very disappointing with the lineup that they had. But again, I think the team let him down more than him. How can you, it's not like he can go out and take the stick from these players. Can't go fucking play for Lafreniere, who had 0 goals. Can't go play for Panarin, who had 0 goals in 7 games. Both of them. So I don't understand. Patrick Kane was pretty much non-existent in that series. Mika had 1 goal, 2 goals. Kreider had 6, but that's pretty much it. I think the team folded, and he got the blunt of it. He got the worst of it. So I disagree with it because now who do you look for? What else? What are you going to do? And again, a lot of it was because they had the lineup and where they went last year, losing to Tampa in the ECF. I'm kind of lost here because where do you go? So now you lose your coach. Now the whole rebuilding that everyone's trying to say that they did was rushed. Now you got to basically change the whole fucking lineup again. So you're coachless. You got to lose Patrick Kane. Maybe Tarasenko as well. Maybe let go of Lafreniere, who was a number 1 pick, by the way. Now what? Team's in fucking shambles. Okay? That's all I got to say on it. I mean, I don't get it. I thought he had the team. I really thought he had the team. Again, this is a disappointment, but I don't think you give Gallant the blame, because when the team doesn't perform, it's not like they were fucking, in every single game. And, maybe there was a couple bad moves. It's like when you talk about Aaron Boone and you, his roster moves and you pull pitchers too early and then the reliever gives up a walk-off 2-run homer. Well, that was a bad coaching move there. It's not like he was doing any of that. He had to adjust his lines every single game, mid-game, because these motherfuckers could not perform. Get shut out in Game 7. Is that on him? Fuck no. Your players don't want to score. No fucking heart. Sorry, man. I like you. I liked you a lot. So good luck. Seriously, good luck.
Sorry, man.
Honestly, I mean, where do you go now? Somebody tell me who are they gonna get? Because I fucking don't know. Okay, more NHL stuff. The Blackhawks win the draft lottery, and we know who they are going to select.
So is that shit actually rigged or no? Because I was just laughing at NHL Twitter because they were saying the draft is rigged. And
Bro,
they need to fix the lottery rules and this and that.
People are bitching because Chicago just had, they just pretty much got rid of their stars. Jonathan Taves, Duncan Keith's now retired, obviously. Patrick Kane. And then they're like, they just had their guys, and they were without them for less than a year, because, right, Kane and Taves. And now you're talking about getting this number 1 pick out of Bedard. What? And I'm like, listen, hold on a second.
So it's just like the Warriors getting rid of Clay and Steph, and then
they restart. But I'm like, I disagree.
They get Luka.
Chicago, if you talk about a team that's in shambles that needs a serious rebuild, it's Chicago. It's not like fucking they're going to get Bedard and then be immediately in playoff contention again, because that's just not happening. I don't think you should be mad about it because it's not like, he could have went to Anaheim at 2, balling out with Trevor Zegras. Okay, so it could have been a little bit different.
I would have fucked with that because I like Zegras.
He could have been with Columbus, who you have Johnny Hockey over there. They obviously underperformed. Yeah, Gaudreau's in Columbus.
All right, Johnny Hockey, I like that.
Yeah, well, he's a Philly guy.
I need to watch me some. I need to watch me some highlights. I don't know who.
I actually went and saw him play at the Phillies the Flyers practice facility a couple years ago. But he was supposed to sign with the Flyers, and then
that kid,
Johnny Gaudreau.
Everyone was so pissed because we didn't get him.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
But it's not like he's going to lineups where they are a couple pieces away, or I know like Anaheim's a couple away. The Sharks are a little bit more than a couple away. Canadians who got 5, they're way more than a couple away. You look at the Blackhawks, they're nowhere
Fly
fucking
guys
near
at
it.
7.
Fly guys at 7. I called that shit too. I knew they were going there are ways to go, but I was actually kind of rooting for them to get 1.
Yeah, so was I.
I would have started going to some Flyers games next year just to go see these guys play. And this is a generational talent. We talk about guys like Jack Hughes as well. These are guys that are playing in the league right away. I think people underestimate the road that it takes when you're in the NHL, how long it takes to get up there. Kind of like baseball, but a little harder. It's a long fucking road to get there. So if you're the number 1 player and drafted, you are the number 1 player at your position out of the entire fucking world. We're not talking about college football where it's the United States. We are talking about the entire fucking world, and you're going to start right away. And Jack Hughes is one of those guys. Obviously fucking Alexei Lafreniere was, but guess we don't perform in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't hate that the Blackhawks got it because what do they have? They needed this. If you talk about teams that needed it, they needed it. Again, the Flyers did too. Canadians did too. Coyotes in Arizona did too, for sure.
They fucking suck.
They suck, and their arena sucks. You got to give them some support there. Also, Columbus kind of did too with how underperforming this season was. But again, I do think the Blackhawks just needed it more. So don't give me that bullshit of, they just lost their guys. They lost their generational talents and they're 3 big stars. And now what? They get less than 2 months off and now they're restarting a rebuild again with this type of player. They need that type of player. What are you talking about? They have nothing else there. So I was definitely surprised last night. I didn't think they were going to get it. I really thought Columbus was going to get it, to be honest with you. But more hockey stuff here. Thank you, Score.com, for all of this info here. The Maple Leafs suck.
Yeah, they should for real. Sorry to cut you off, but like the Score app should for real give us an affiliate link just because of my usage, bro. I've put so many people on this. Bro, I've used the Score app. Tell
that right there. Score.com.
It was me and like 5, 6 specific homies a long time ago. We all had our issues, and we all used the Score app for our issues. And I'm pretty sure we all have been using it and advocating for it since. They need to send like a package of like $25K to like me and like 6 other people, like off the top of my head. I know.
Score.com, you will be tagged in this right here. Pay attention.
Fuck it, ESPN. Never used it.
Yeah.
Never will.
Affiliate link. Lock it the fuck down. Okay, the Leafs fucking suck. Let's also remember, down 3-0, right? Let's also remember, for people that weren't paying attention, because how many times we got to tell you to pay attention to NHL playoffs?
Facts.
After the Panthers beat the Boston Bruins in Game 7, Toronto rose? I don't know. Fuck it. To the Stanley Cup champion favorite on sportsbooks. The Maple Leafs. Now they're down 3-0. And they lost home ice.
Like, what the fuck?
And then they lost game 3. I mean, now we're talking about a possible sweep. And then the Panthers. I mean, dude, how many people are going to keep sleeping on this fucking team? Here was my favorite part about it, too. Obviously, if you're a Leafs fan and you're awaiting, Game 7 for, to play the Panthers or the Bruins, you're fired up because you want the Panthers to win because you don't want to play Boston. Because, they were this juggernaut all season long. They still didn't walk the walk, but they were this juggernaut. So what do the fans do in Toronto? We want Florida. And then after the Game 3 overtime winner in Florida, the entire arena in Florida. We want Florida. Down 3-0. Come on. I mean, I like that a lot. I mean, we're looking at a possible sweep here. And then the winner's probably going to get the Hurricanes, to be honest with you. The Devils might do it again. Come back down 2-0 after a huge 8-4 win.
I saw that.
Jack and Luke
Hughes. I didn't know who that was.
Snapping.
Like, that's his brother or some shit? I learned a lot that night. I don't know who the fuck Luke
Jack
Hughes
going MMA style, losing his first
Speaking
tooth.
of other fucking... I did see he lost a tooth.
First tooth, he said.
Damn.
He said, hockey players lose teeth all the time, so it was coming at some point. But
It was coming at some point.
I'm like, damn, bro, you actually had
Did you see Evander Kane fucking cross-check someone after the fucking... Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That dude's a psycho, man.
I love
Dude's
that
a psycho. That dude is crazy. And that series is also unbelievable as well. Vegas winning that 5-1 last night. Yeah, I think the Leafs are fucking done. And again, if they get swept here, I think you can still say, the same thing that I've been saying since, that Tampa series. If they lost that series, Austin Matthews will definitely put a lot of thought into getting the fuck out of there.
Come to Philly.
I think if you lose here and you get swept, I still think that's a failure because you're looking at back-to-back years where you couldn't even make it to the Eastern Conference Final. So we'll see. Obviously, we know not many teams come back down 3-0. Okay?
Fly Guys have.
Yeah.
One of the few playoff series I've watched.
Okay, over to the NBA. Again, I do want to mention this for our watchers on YouTube. If you haven't already, drop a like, comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button as well. But we do release these episodes in different segments, in chunks, in little clips. They're short form clips. So if you can't watch the whole video or you can't listen to the whole podcast, they do go out in clips, so you can see that as well. Shorter videos for you. All right, over to the NBA. Wow, Jokic receiving a tech. He gets fined. I believe it was $25,000 after shoving the Suns owner. And it was funny? To everybody else, I guess that's just some casual fan. Just not the owner, apparently.
Some guy.
Okay? My thing is, why the fuck's he not in his box? Why are you down on the floor? What do you do? What are you doing on courtside? I get it. Courtside's a great spot to be.
I mean,
Shouldn't you
great spot, fucking electrifying.
Right.
Down 2-1 in your crib.
Shouldn't we be in our box? I mean, what are we doing? What are you doing? And you're an attention-seeking whore if you're doing that, okay? You were holding the ball. All right? You tried to take the ball away. And you see, he almost reached for it, too. What are you doing? Stay in your lane, brother.
He was drawing. Don't hold the ball. But Devin Booker did say he did help us out. He did help us get a W here today. You know what I'm saying? Everybody plays their role. And one thing that's big about what this series about everyone playing their role, something that I just sorely missed. Two guys specifically, just Mikal and Cam Johnson, just in terms of depth of this team. See how hard it is for them to win games? I mean, even when they win by margins, it's taken 30-40, 50-40. We get a contribution of combined 23 points from everybody else. Obviously, you get your yearly CP3 injury. They kind of need a fucking owner on courtside taking balls. They need a Mike Tomlin, someone sticking their leg out to trip somebody. They need all the help they can get because this team has literally zero depth. And I can't. They can win this series because Devin Booker is the best shooting guard in basketball.
Bro.
And he's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, talk about these numbers in the playoffs alone. I mean, what is this guy on? I mean, it's dropping 40 is just casual.
On 15 for 20. Just doing it his...
I'm more in awe of his shooting percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Every game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're pushing 65% from the floor every night.
And I really... It's not... He had the same kind of efficiency when the team was deeper. The points were not as crazy. He was having his 35-point, 40-point bombs. I think in the finals run, Devin Booker was snapping.
Yeah. But
I think now, just how it's just him and KD going 1 and 2, and he's still able to go I think the one that he went 15 for 20. That's fucking hard when they know you're shooting. And the degree of difficulty of these shots he takes. One of my favorite shots he takes is when he goes to the left side. You'll probably never be able to unsee this now that I said this. He goes to the left side of the basket. Right-handed player, big man's obviously coming from the little horn, the little charge place and coming out to contest. And he's at just the worst angle. And it can always left hand float it up and find the backboard and get it in on your weak hand. That's such a hard shot. He does it 3 times a game. The degree of difficulty of the shots that he makes at a high percentage of a clip is crazy. The walk down 3 he had, I don't know if you saw the clip where KD just was shaking his head when he was walking away. This series has been incredible from a shot making playmaking standpoint, because on the other side, Jokic and Jamal Murray have been damn good themselves. I mean, Jokic just had a quiet, I don't even know how you can have a quiet 50 ball, but it was a quiet, all post work, straight fundies 50 ball. No one can stop that fucker. And Jamal Murray's had his game so far. I was saying, like, I kind of made a comment that, like, there's no defense being played out there with these games, these guys going nuclear. I honestly think it's just better offense than it is bad defense. I honestly, these games are competitive. These guys are getting contested shots. These guys are just playing incredible offense. And low key, besides the Lakers series, this is probably my favorite series. I mean, my own, obviously, but this has probably been my favorite series to watch. It's been incredible basketball. For all the hate I have gave Jokic, he's fucking insane.
He's an unreal player.
Now that my guy got the MVP and we don't have to debate who's going to win the MVP and all this bullshit, now that guy is fucking incredible. I've never seen a guy not be able to get moved off his spot more than him. Even Joel Embiid gets moved off his spot way more. Watch the series with the Celtics. Al Horford gets Joel Embiid up to the elbow consistently. We'll move him off his spot. Jokic does not get moved. That motherfucker is crazy. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that series. It is. I just hope a lot of these guys that when you're watching, because inevitably someone's gonna lose and someone's probably gonna have a bad game 7 and they're gonna want to say he's a choker. Let's go back to literally every single one of these games of the series. The stars have shown up and shown up in big ways every single game, and it's fucking amazing to watch.
Well, I want to talk about Jokic too because of what he said about the tech, saying his quote was again from the score. His quote saying the fan put their hand on me first. I thought the league is supposed to protect us.
It's true.
Whoever he is, he's a fan. He can't interfere with the game. I'm not saying you have to know who the Suns owner is. So I'm not mad at the comments.
Mike Malone didn't know either. He said,
there goes Mike Malone, coach of the Nuggets here, saying his quote was going to get the ball and some fan is holding onto the ball who wants to be a part of the game. Just give the ball up, man. That's what Malone said. Just give the ball up, man. And then he's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. That's what he said. He literally said, when asked, this is a tweet from Brendan Crystal here saying when Malone was asked about the tech, he said he referred to him at the Suns owner as some fan and said, I really don't give a shit. Doesn't matter that he's the team's owner. Don't give a shit. All right. I guess we don't give a shit. And then you got Booker like, oh, he said to the reporters, oh, he got us a point. He did his job. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Now you're just clowning it. You're just trying to piss people off.
Fuck with it.
That's it. You're just trying to piss people off. All right. Now we finally get to talk more about Sixers basketball. James Harden's 42 points in Game 4 win with the game winner in overtime. We're tied playing tonight in Boston at 7:30. Pretty cool stuff from James Harden. I mean, that was just fucking, at the end of that game was big shot after big shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. You got Tatum banging one down. That was a cold fucking 3, falling over as well. I mean, I don't know how he's making that. Let's also not forget, like, even though the ball like didn't get out of his hands in time, Marcus Smart still made the fucking shot. I mean, so we're going back and forth. This is the playoff basketball that like is the most exciting because you're seeing clutch shot after clutch shot on both ends of the floor and the game's in overtime. I mean, if it wasn't for James Harden, there wouldn't even been an overtime, first of all. PJ Tucker, we can also state the fact, I mean, first of all, we can talk about the leadership, but second of all, we can talk about the and one and also making the free throw as well. So, pretty damn good stuff to see out of the Sixers. For a lot of people, predicting that this series was going to be done at this point in 4 games or 5 games. Well, we're fucking tired going back to Boston.
It's interesting part because you were saying how big shot to big shot, big shot to big shot, like the Harden shot. It literally came down to a blown coverage. Like nothing else but like fundamental blown coverage. Like I know Jaylen Brown is sick because it could be shit you were taught in high school. And when the moment's that big, like it just fades you. You have Joel Embiid, MVP, walking down the post on Al Horford. Who doesn't double team that? But you just can't. Right. You just cannot leave the shooter in the corner. There was probably thousands and tens of thousands of college and high school coaches cringing when they saw Jaylen Brown collapse down. Because when I saw that, as soon as I knew Joel Embiid gave that pass off, I had a feeling it was game over. You talk about the Tatum 3. That was fucking bullshit. That is an offensive fucking foul.
He pushed the shit out of Maxey.
Right in front of the referee, a blatant offensive fucking foul. I was sitting there So from about the third quarter, the fourth quarter, I was silent because I got complete flashbacks of Atlanta up 20 at home in a game you need to win, and you don't win the game you need to win when you're up 20 at home.
But yeah, again, I
As
didn't even
soon as that lead started dwindling down, as soon as I started seeing Maxey having to be forced into taking bad shots because people have been loud about Maxey, me included, about his bad shooting percentage the last couple of games, but he's being forced to take those bad shots. I'll get to that. And I'm sitting there silent like, yo, we are really about to do this and go down 3-1. How the fuck do these guys continue to do this? And then I completely lost it. I finally opened my mouth again when that Tatum shot happened because that was an offensive fucking foul. Now,
well, I didn't even mention they shouldn't even been in this position in the first place because they were
up 20.
Yeah.
Now it's all coming. It's the offense that we run that we have to run because we have Joel Embiid and James Harden. Could we find a way to run some kind of Warriors, Spurs-esque, move a shit ton without the ball, kind of a Sacramento Kings kind of offense? We probably could, but that's not the offense that we have. So the ball sticks a shit ton. If you notice, the ball sticks so much, and I am so tired of watching this shit because it's 3 years doing this shit. The ball just sticks in incredible amounts. And you have players like Tyrese Maxey, who when the offense is flowing, he's catching dribble handoffs, coming off ball screens, he's blazing past guys with his speed and get to the rack, get to his step back easily. Tobias Harris, even though he's not the best sometimes, when the ball's moving around, he's in the corner, he's open, he can get the ball on the post when the ball's moving around, get the ball at the elbow, make one move, get to the basket. When that ball's sticking, it completely fucks Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris because good players, not great players at this stage, just to get the ball, 5 seconds left in the shot clock, make a move, consistently be able to get you buckets throughout the game. They can do it once, twice, 3 times. When they get hot, they can do it a lot when they get hot. But consistently in the way you need it, when you're losing a 20-point lead and the crowd's getting disgruntled and people are getting frustrated and you're not getting foul calls, that ball sticking, forcing Tyrese Maxey. Now he has 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Now he's taking a step back 3, which everyone hates. But why is he taking that shot? Because when he's getting the ball in the shot clock and how the offense is going. I think that is the main thing when it comes to Doc Rivers that's fucking annoying as hell. It's just the offense and how it's ran. And you might not be able to point the finger to Doc Rivers. Maybe you can point the finger to how the team's constructed because it's James Harden x Joel Embiid. So how many other ways are you going to run this besides pick and roll and ISO? That is very true. But that shit right there, when I was watching that 20-point lead dwindle, I was so done with everything. Doc Rivers, Elton Brand, every single assistant coach. I was so fucking done because I literally could have just pointed the finger to the offense and how stagnant it gets when you're not having movement. Just imagine losing a lead when the possession is 1 pass, 2 pass, dribble, missed shot. They come down 3-pointer. Do it again. Missed shot. They come down and 1. Do it again. Like, it's just agonizing to fucking watch.
You sound like me.
And it has to be agonizing to be as a player when you're a guy like Maxey and you're not getting shots and you're getting a touch with 8 seconds left in the shot clock. It is what it is. We made our bed. We can lay in it because we can beat these guys. I mean, we really can beat these guys. Tatum had a couple duds of games. Jaylen Brown's been incredible. He's made a serious argument that he can be the second best shooting guard in the NBA besides Devin Booker, but Donovan Mitchell has something to say about that. But he did lose to the Knicks, and you guys are a bunch of pussies and babies, if you ask me. So, but I am interested to see how this rest of the series plays out. I do really think we can get these guys. That was a fucking huge get. James Harden, I love more than life itself. I mean, this guy, I do understand him being more passive and trying to get Joel Embiid the shots, but I think we're going to need that 30, high 20, and sometimes 40-point James Harden to get over the hump here. So I hope we see that more. Go fucking Sixers and 7. I hope I can stop stressing a little bit.
Damn, you think it's 7?
Oh, I know.
You think they lose tonight?
I do think we do take a L tonight, a nice L dooski, and we come home with a big game. And I think
and then you got to go back there.
I think we possibly see blowout, and then close game. Just because Boston has to respond back home, they'll probably respond in a big way. They do it a lot. Well, we got to respond back home. We usually do that in a big way. So
talking about the blowout, like the Celtics can do that because they came back in that fucking game, which was scary to see.
Momentum, yeah.
But yeah, huge. I just want to shine more light on James Harden. Obviously the game, but everything off the court as well. Inviting Michigan State student back to Game 6 as well. Said he was the good luck charm. Just really cool stuff. Just really powerful stuff.
Gotta shout out my boy PJ Tucker because There was about 5-6 guys besides Harden and B giving us nothing. But goddamn, PJ Tucker, the last couple games have been willing to shoot from the corner, and PJ Tucker's defense is PJ Tucker's defense. We don't win that game without PJ Tucker.
Damn straight.
Obviously, the end was
Al Horford was doing his fucking job to Embiid.
Fuck that guy.
So,
fuck that guy.
All right, let's touch a little bit on the Heat and the Knicks as the Knicks go down 3-1. Again, how many times we have to say with this team that they can't fucking shoot? They can't shoot. They're not playing bad games. It's just like when we talked about in game 2 when they got blown out by the Cavs. They didn't play a bad game there. They just didn't make any fucking shot. Here, they didn't play a bad game, and it was still close. They just can't make shots. And we're doing the same thing. We're taking awful shots, severely contested shots, and then down the other way, you got fucking Duncan Robinson banging threes on your head. And then, I mean, look, I'm not a guy to make excuses at all. And this is not an excuse. But this has to be, like, the light has to be shined on this. I mean, did the Heat not get every fucking call that they asked for last night? That was not why they won the game, first of all. I'm not saying that. I am just saying, though. I mean, they're in the bonus with half a quarter to play every quarter. How are we getting these calls? Mitchell Robinson is getting blocking fouls for standing vertically. I mean, they're getting every call. And when Jalen Brunson is hitting his shoulder bone to the fucking deck, we're not getting at ones. I mean, we're lucky to get a call last night. I'm not saying that's the reason they lost. But can they get a fucking call? Or at least stop calling everything on the fucking Knicks? It was just a joke. But when you talk about Jalen Brunson last night, he's still takeover mode. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen a big switch from the Cavs series and from game 1 saying we got to be better. We got to be better. More importantly, Julius fucking Randle. I mean, what? You're saying maybe they want it more?
They do.
First of all,
they do.
Shouldn't even be saying that. Second of all, how are we shooting fucking 30%? 30%.
6 turnovers.
I mean,
it's a rough one.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, we got to have Deuce McBride was playing last night.
A lot of minutes.
What?
A lot of minutes.
What? Josh Hart was there to play defense last night. That's it. He was playing lockdown defense for sure, but what? That's all? That's all? We were almost a near triple-double in game 2. The fuck? I don't know. I don't get it.
That team clearly wants it more. You guys lost that game for a plethora of reasons, but
nobody wants to rebound.
The whole series got extrapolated to why you guys will lose in that last 8 minutes. Guys were down about 8 to 10 points. At some points, it was 11 to 12. But kept making threes and kept cutting it to like 7, 6. I think one time they cut it to maybe 5 or 6. I think it was
5.
It was 5 they cut it to. How in the fuck can we not get a defensive rebound? You're making a comeback. You're in the fourth quarter. You're coming back down 12. At that point in the game, you're away. But you're getting hyped up. Your bench is getting louder for you. You should be getting more offensive rebounds. Struggling to get a defensive rebound is fucking crazy. I knew it was over. You guys were down like 7-8. Hartenstein and Julius Randle go for a rebound. In between Caleb Martin, and he gets it. Kyle Lowry is going out of bounds, saving balls, and you're seeing guys just literally just looking at him.
Bro, they're ball watching.
Just looking at him. That what Julius Randle said was so true, and he couldn't have meant it anymore because they do want that shit way more. These guys want to go home, man. Not RJ and Jalen, because they want to play. RJ had a nice game last night, too.
RJ turned it on from that Cavs series when everybody was shitting on him.
He did.
And he started to fucking play. And Jalen Brunson's turned it around well. The guy who has not turned the fuck around is Julius Randle. And we are just sitting ball watching. We went from a Cavs series. We even can talk about games 1 and 2 with offensive rebounding and rebounding in general from this team. We even talk about the Cavs series. Mitchell Robinson was given a high praise from Jared Allen, saying that he's the best offensive rebounder in the league. Now, we're in this series, and we're in game 4, and basically a must-win. No one's going to say that on either roster, but it is a must-win game. And because you got to come back here for game 6 if you win game 5 at MSG. And we're sitting here not even getting a defensive rebound because we're just watching. How the fuck is Kyle Lowry getting 3 offensive rebounds in the fucking fourth quarter? And this is when we're under 4 minutes. So like every rebound, we're just sitting here taking seconds off. Just let the clock tick. I mean, in one possession, they had 3 offensive rebounds. And that happened back-to-back possessions for them. I mean, when the ball goes up, everybody looks like they're boxing out. And then they're just watching. Oh, somebody's going to get it. No, Kyle Lowry's going to slither his way in and go find it. So that was the most disappointing part because, again, it's not like they played, a disgustingly awful game. They just couldn't shoot. They were in the game. A disgustingly awful game was Saturday in the blowout.
ISO Julius is kind of ugly too.
I mean, we're running the same, like you said with the like you said with the Sixers. I mean, we're running. It's like doing the same thing every possession, expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. I mean, even when we're getting open looks, open threes late in the game. Jalen Brunson kind of needed to have this one.
The corner one especially.
Missed it. I'm like, guys, we can't be. I mean, this is like some of the best chances you're gonna get late in the game to put yourselves back in the game, to potentially walk out of here with this tied series going back to New York. And you just can't hit a shot. I mean, try to drive down and then make a 2-foot pass inside underneath the hoop when there's 4 guys surrounding you. And it's a turnover every time. What are we doing? Jalen Brunson did it a couple times. RJ did it a couple times. We're driving into the lane. Now we're under the hoop, and you're just trying to make a little, tiny little pass 2 feet away from you, but there's Bam, Martin, Duncan's down there, Kyle's down there. Who's going to get the ball? One of them. So just a frustrating way to lose because they were in this game, and they did have a large chance to win this game. I did take them at halftime to a plus 280. Thought it was good value. And I thought they were going to win. I mean, I think it was an 8-point, down 8 at half. Yeah, it was 58-50, I think. Or 48-56, something like that at halftime. They were in this game.
Them boys got no heart, no balls.
And
that's the New York team I'm saying that about. I thought that was like y'all thing. Them boys got no heart, no balls. That's what I saw. That was a shame to watch.
If I was
a Knicks fan, that would have been one of the most painful playoff losses I probably would have.
Just keep the fucking at least go in there and make a statement at MSG. Because if you fold back-to-back games, and I mean, I think it was a collapse in game 3, but you folded in game 4. If you fold, not collapse, if you fold in game 5 to go home at home in front of those fans, then fucking blow the whole ship up, for Christ's sake. I mean, get Randall. See ya. Goodbye. Somebody's got to make some changes here because I don't understand. I mean, Quentin Grimes is a shooter. RJ Barrett's damn good shooter as well. We need to start hitting some shots. Perimeter shots. And the biggest thing for me is fucking perimeter defense. I mean, I feel like it's every possession that they just collapse perimeter defensively. And it's skip pass to skip pass to skip pass. Wide open Duncan Robinson in the corner. Wide open Caleb Martin. Wide open Max Strus. What are we doing? Where almost every possession, this is a good shooting team. Everybody knows that. And you're just giving them wide open looks. And the Knicks, of course, they can't get that. And even if they do, they miss it. So I need better rebounding, and for sure, damn well, you gotta fucking lock these guys up on the perimeter. Because that's how these guys beat you. They beat you with these clutch shots because they get wide open looks, and you're just fucking giving it to them. All right, let's go to the Lakers. Lonnie Walker is the first Laker to have 15 points off the bench in the fourth quarter of a playoff game since Kobe Bryant, who scored 17 points on May 8th, 1997, versus the Utah Jazz, which to last night was exactly 26 years ago to the day. Pretty powerful stuff there. And LeBron James saying as well, we don't win that game without Lonnie.
Hell no. And they don't win this series without Lonnie. That's, first-year coaches under LeBron James get a fuck ton of scrutiny. And some deservedly so. David Blatt, Ty Lue's first couple spinoffs, even though Ty Lue ended up being a good coach. And it still is a good coach. First-year LeBron coaches are under a lot of scrutiny. Luke Walton, list goes on. Arvin Ham I'm thoroughly impressed at how he's handled himself in the playoffs and the year to include anyway, with everything they had going on with the Russell Westbrook situation, roster turnovers, stuff like that. The one big adjustment he made in the series going back to LA was switching how they use their pick and roll offense, putting Austin Reeves on Steph Curry, moving Jordan Vanderbilt onto Draymond Green, messed up kind of what Golden State had going on with their pick and roll. Then he, at that same time, he's making the adjustment of playing Lonnie Walker more minutes. I think game 3 or game 2, he had about 24 minutes. He seemed to get 20 again. I think last night, did he have like 30 minutes or maybe another high 20-minute game? And he's been the X factor. Because as much, Austin Reeves had a good game last night, but as much as Austin Reeves was their X factor throughout the rest of the playoffs in the year, first couple games he wasn't that great. You're kind of been waiting for him to explode, and that's when you see these Lonnie Walker minutes coming in. And he's had a great game, but I think that also did open up for Austin Reeves as well because he had a good game last night. But it might be, is the dynasty over with? I mean, like I foreshadowed in the past, if you cannot handle your business on the road, if you can't at least split, if you can't win games at all on the road, it is irreversible damage. That's irreversible debt. That's $50,000 of credit card debt year one. You done bought a new whip, you can't pay it back. You can't win a game on the road. You gotta be able to split one. And Curry's showing up on the road. Where's his duo? Where's his number 2 at? It can't just be game 6, Clay. You got to play game 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 too. What the fuck? Him and Jordan Poole were 3 for 15 last night. I think that was a stat. I mean,
9 points, by the way.
Jordan Poole has been getting consistent cardio in the entire playoffs. He's had a couple nice games, but he's been getting consistent cardio in just that, nothing more, nothing less. Klay Thompson, this is where they need you bad. And I understand you want to feel bad for a guy because it's almost like maybe not Warriors fans, because obviously they watch him every night and they're going to hold Klay accountable. But I'm talking for me personally, post-injury stuff's going on. There was like a honeymoon phase with Klay. Like he kind of do no wrong. I didn't care if Klay went 1 for 21 because I just wanted him to shoot the shots. He's healthy playing basketball. At this point, Klay, we need you back. We need you back. You know what I'm saying? 2018, 2017, Klay, you got to be hitting shots. Steph Curry's dropping triple-doubles. Steph Curry's getting 10 rebounds. Steph Curry's throwing behind the back passes. Steph Curry's throwing no-look one-handers from half court, getting the rebound, coming back, step back 3. Like, that motherfucker needs some help. Bad.
This reminds me of this Kings series again. I mean, we're looking right back to the Kings series. Games that you need to win, you lose. Should have won.
Unbelievable.
Shouldn't have had to go to 7 games because you should have won at home.
Unbelievable.
Won game 6 at home. And to your point about Steph, this is fucking bullshit. I'm also pissed that I had fucking, coin on the goddamn Warriors to win last night at plus money.
He's got to be dying out there, bro.
I mean, 31, 10, and 14 last night.
Fuck?
31, 10, and 14.
A Steph Curry line.
And you have Klay Thompson that had 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. He shot 3 of 11, and his 9 points were from 3 threes. He went 3 of 9 from 3. Then we look at...
Can you read another stat? How many times did he get to the line?
0.
Do the same for Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole, this is also just hilarious. You talk about cardio. Fucking 0 points, 2 turnovers, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, didn't get to the line, 0 of 4 from the floor, 0 of 2 from 3. I mean, this is just a fucking joke.
Now, there's been talk about these guys like Klay and Jordan Poole getting going. Now, we don't know Klay as a perennial get to the basket guy, but Klay in his prime, get to the rack. He could bang on you. Get to the mid-range spot, open up his game. Jordan Poole, we see him at his best last year. Obviously, he has that step-back 3 package, but at his best, coming off that pick and roll, slithering into the defense, getting to the line, making those nice passes, then open up his game from there. I don't know if you caught one of it as well, but a lot of people on Twitter have been talking about the foul differential in this series. The reason why I wanted you to say that is because his, more so or less besides Wiggins, because Wiggins is one guy who will go to the basket no matter what the fuck's going on. His 1 and 2 guys in the scoring department are just not getting downhill in any capacity. And if we want to complain about foul differential and foul shots, look at your number 1 and number 2 guy on offense besides Curry not getting to the line at all. Like at all. We can't complain about foul differential if those guys are getting to the line at all. And when we talk about them going 3 for 15 and giving you 9 points of output and where's Klay Thompson, where's Jordan Poole, this could be, I do watch the games as much as everyone else, and I do see what's going on out there, obviously, but I think it could easily work themselves in the game if we just get to the fucking line. Or try to. Get a layup or 2. Get to the line. Get downhill. Make a good pass. I think it's alarming for those guys to be shooting at that bad of a percentage or for Klay to be shooting that bad of a percentage and then for Jordan Poole to be not involved in the game offensively that much, for them to not be at the line one time. I think that's fucked. You got at second quarter, third quarter, you have a game going for you like that. You're not making shots, not getting involved in the offense. You should just be thinking, I gotta get to the line. Not I gotta get a 3. I don't know. I think that's fucked, and 30 needs them guys bad.
Well, I mean, you talk about the free throws as well and getting to the line and the differential of calls there. I mean, the Warriors were 9 of 12 from the line last night. The Lakers were 20 for 20.
And it's
100%.
not favoritism. It's not bad calls. It's how these two teams play. If you watch the Lakers, there's a lot of AD, LeBron back down, come off a screen. Dennis and Austin Reeves get downhill, not go for the 3, and they play inside out. And you're going to get foul calls. And there's going to be a differential if you're playing a team. And they know how, and listen, LeBron, we probably don't even know how many sleepless nights LeBron has had trying to figure out how to beat these fucking guys. And I guarantee this is part of his itinerary. So it's probably going to just plan for that guy.
Yeah.
But if you don't get downhill, you don't go to the basket. If there's one guy, 2 guys on your team going to the basket, you're not going to get to the line. I don't know what you guys are wishing for.
You have the Warriors at plus 370 to win the series. Is it possible?
It is. And I did say Lakers I wanted Lakers in 7. I didn't think it would get done, but I did want Lakers in 7. And this is kind of how I saw the series going. Splitting that chase. Warriors can't win at home. And then now we kind of see what we're going to see now. I do like the narrative as, hey, LeBron got one down 3-1. Can Steph get his one down 3-1?
Facts. I was thinking about the same shit.
And the most even that this series has been between them two. I did see something on Twitter as well. Someone was like, I can't believe they're saying that LeBron is an underdog in this series when he has AD and Steph Curry's team has been this and that. Well, dumbass. They were minus 130. They were favorites.
They were favorites.
And more times than not, I think every time, if not maybe one time, LeBron's been favored playing them. I think it was a play-in. Hey, Steph, it ain't been you. It hasn't been you, but it's gonna need to be more of you for this to happen. As we saw with Kyrie and LeBron when they came back down 3-1, 40s and 40s, triple doubles. Steph, you're gonna have to probably have to drop like 50 twice, 40 once. Clay's gonna have to drop 35, 40. It's gonna take that kind of thing. Can they do it? They can. And I think low key with Clay being cold, Jordan Poole being cold, those guys are volume shooters, streaky shooters. Them being cold the first 5 games of the series, coming back now, they get hot. I don't think the Warriors plus 370 is a bad ticket to place. That's all I'll say.
The other thing, too, is this is just like the Knicks. You get a chance to go back in front of your home crowd and show them that,
momentum.
Get some momentum and show this crowd that you're not done yet. You scared the shit out of your crowd at Game 6 and you lost to the Kings. But here you are, backs against the wall. Steph's going to have to perform again.
We will be betting on Steph Curry in game 6, by the way.
I mean, across the board.
Yeah.
But watch this be a game where like Clay goes like 5 of 9 from 3. And he turns it back on and Poole drops a 20 piece.
Or game 5, my bad. Jesus, these guys have home court.
I know.
I'm thinking it's game 6 these guys. I'm thinking they don't have home court. They have home court.
Yeah, bro. This is just like the Knicks. They have home court.
They gonna need game 6 Clay in LA. Oh hell no!
I think the value is just so crazy.
And you gotta take it.
No, I think it should be more. I mean, 370? Really? Really think the worst could possibly like there's a bigger possibility they can do this?
No. I mean,
I don't.
From a sheer odds standpoint, they'll be underdogs in game 5. No, it'll be favorites in game 5. My fault.
Yeah,
be favorites in game 5 back at Chase,
and then underdogs again.
Most likely underdogs, if not an extremely tight line in game 6, and then same situation I think in game 7 either. Should be favorites, but underdog probably a tight line in game 7 as well. 370 kind of makes sense.
370 kind of makes sense.
It's not.
We will be betting on it.
It's not like they're like plus 6.5 every single game. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's tight lines every game. Plus 3. I'll take it.
There's value to be had.
They win that. They win. I probably say it probably shoots right down to 200, 220.
And
if they win game 5.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean betting. I mean, you're betting with Steph Curry, essentially. So taking for another 30 piece in game 5, and I'll do it in game 6 as well.
Do you take more into account that LeBron did get a W or is looking like he's going to get a W in their most even matchup? Do you take a lot of stock in that? I do.
I do too.
And he's older. I take a lot of stock in that personally.
Well,
no, then it's not discrediting. It's not discrediting the Warriors or Steph.
Well,
more so me saying, okay, Bron, I see what you did, but it was cool. I see what you did, but it was cool.
Well, I was listening to ESPN radio yesterday, and I forget who it was, but they were saying that LeBron needs more out of AD because then he can take, he doesn't have to go at his age, doesn't have to go fucking 150% every night. He can kind of pick his spots when he needs to be that guy.
I'm getting dumb sidetracked, but that's why Lonnie Walker was so big, because the Lakers are astronaut. Their record is unbelievable when D'Lo is scoring 16 points or more, and he was 1 for 11 last night. That's why Lonnie Walker's fucking huge, because they do not win that game without him.
Right. I mean, this is just next man up, and clearly we did not see that out of anybody on the fucking Warriors besides, obviously, Steph Curry, who's just trying to keep this season alive. I mean, I wish the Knicks had a guy like that. Oh, wait, they do. 2 of them, Jalen and RJ. But that's it.
That is it.
That is it. That's our show for you today, ladies and gentlemen. If you did watch on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, a comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Again, all of these segments will be clipped out so you can see the shorter form content on YouTube as well. For our Apple Podcasts and Spotify listeners, do make sure to drop a rating there. That does help us go a long way. And if you are not following us on our social media accounts, our Instagram is @ADEDPod. Our Twitter is @ADED Podcast, and our TikTok is simply just the name of the show, The All Day Everyday Show. You've been listening and watching to The All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and Manny Ruffin. My name is Alex Jacobs, but you can call me All Day AJ. 6 or 7, fucking 7 NBA playoffs. Let's run it.
Start taking bullshit.
See you in a bit, everybody. Love you guys.